Hello, my name is Scott Lucier. I am a practitioner in residence at Suffolk University in the Center for Urban Ecology and Sustainability. I put together this video of some of the drone work that I've been doing as part of the UESS 2021 workshop with our friends in Shanghai and Fudan University, and just wanted to put together some of the cool images that I've gathered over the past few years. I think it's cool, it's interesting. Some beautiful stuff we've got here, and just show you what we're up to. And we're going to look at two of the sites that we fly at in the North Shore, north of Boston and south of Boston, and some of the things I'm playing around with. So here we go. All right, let's look at some video here. We're going to start with the first site in Bridgewater, Massachusetts. This is a forest and farmland site. A friend of mine owns this property and lets me fly there, which is really nice. So I've got a nice wide open space to fly and play around with the drone equipment. And in this case, we're looking at the forested area, and we're wondering if we could spot deer and other things from the air with the drone technology. So we got the drone up, and we're poking around to see if we could see anything. It turned out to be not really possible. I think just visually it's difficult. Here's another look at the farm, kind of the farmlands and the forest areas to give you a better sense of what we're looking at. Here's another look, kind of showing some of the recent construction. They were clearing some of the land and improving the getting some rocks out of there and improving the lines of the field, and kind of shows the various things that are there. And here's a look at some of the fields. They grow a lot of corn and alfalfa or soy, and winter crops for feeding wintering livestock. And a drainage pond there. And we're going to do some more work with the NDVI sensor. Here is a construction site, a drainage swale, constructed wetland where the water will filter into, and have planted wetland species in there, and hope to see how they grow. And this was kind of the pre-shot. We're looking at this, fly this again, and get a better look at where we're at. This is the thermal imaging that I mentioned. It is using a FLIR camera mounted to our Inspire 1 Pro drone. And we're looking again to see the deer, if we could spot deer. We know that there's a lot of deer out there. We're just kind of curious. And so we got all excited. We saw some lit up objects and wondering, oh, maybe that's a deer. But they were moving kind of quickly. And I think after a couple seconds, we realized, oh, wait a minute, those are squirrels. they're squirrels in the canopy or on the ground running around, and they're very clearly visible through the thermal technology. So if there was a deer out there, we would have seen it pretty clearly. If you can spot a squirrel, you can spot a deer. So that was kind of cool to be able to see that, and you can see the different heat signatures of the tree, and the higher trees get more sun, they warm up a little bit, and it's just a cool way to look at the forest canopy through the thermal lens. I also took some shots of one of the fields that they farm here. This is 470 images flown at about 50 feet, so pretty low, with a 12 megapixel camera, all stitched together into an ortho mosaic image. So it's super high resolution. It's a very large file now. We use Pix4D to combine all these images together, and now we have this super resolution image that we can really see blades of grass and really see what's going on. I wanted to compare this to what we typically see in Google Earth, so I overlaid it onto Google Earth, and here it's very clear the difference. Certainly when you zoom in more, it's difficult probably to see in this video, but you can see the real difference. Here's a digital elevation model. The blues are the low areas, the reds and greens are the higher areas, so we can actually see this in 3D, and the drone can make us 3D images, which is very useful for watershed studies. I also threw in some real estate pictures here. I've done some real estate work with my personal drone, kind of just as a way to practice. You take 5 pictures and send it to the company, and if you see drones out there, typically that's probably what they're doing. It's very common to people to use drones for real estate. Here's a nice deck of a house, kind of a zoomed in shot, and then a little further back. And, you can kind of see how you can tell a story between, oh, I see the deck, and now I see, oh, this is what I'm looking at, this beautiful pond. Kind of sells it. Here is 100 Acre Cove, which is in Rhode Island. This is the Rhode Island side, right on the border with Massachusetts. So the interesting thing about this site is that we have two different states represented. This is mostly Rhode Island. Rhode Island here. When we pan to the left, you'll see Massachusetts up in the upper right. Obviously we don't see that. These lines are imaginary. They look great on a map, but the funny thing about nature is it doesn't really respect these lines. It just does what physics tells it to do. So, this is a good video to kind of show my students that, it doesn't really matter from an environmental standpoint where the boundaries are. It's all working together, and it's sort of kind of a theme of this conference too, right? Just working together, everyone trying to improve the environment helps everyone on the planet, and that's sort of more of a micro scale of that concept. And I was zooming around a bit here as I saw birds flying around. I was trying to capture them, but so it's a little little vertigo inducing. Here is on the North Shore another site that we like to fly at, the Massachusetts Audubon Society's Rough Meadows Wildlife Sanctuary up in Raleigh, Massachusetts. Big wide open fields. It's again a tidal salt marsh area, a little more terrestrial than the last one, and it's a nice site to fly. There's nobody out there. You know, nice access road, and you have just wide open spaces. Very, very few obstacles like power lines or homes or to hit. And if we crash the drone, which can happen, it's nice and soft, and you'll probably won't sustain much damage. And more importantly, it's away from everybody. So, and it's just beautiful. It's a great spot to fly. Here we're flying with a student, and teaching students how to fly and taking some pictures and just getting some various video footage. Here's another shot, a top-down shot of that. And you can see the water areas. This is an also area where we teach our GPS techniques. So we have a Reach RS system and some ground control points. So we use this super accurate GPS system, and I use that with my drone. I put 2x2 pieces of wood painted with an X on them, essentially, and I GPS that point to high accuracy. And I take that data, put it into my map, and I pinpoint where I see these ground control points in my map, and thereby I can really get a highly accurate representation of where I am on the Earth. A lot more than the drone can do by itself. So it's a way to kind of ground truth and really zoom in and lock everything down and really get good measurements, which is really what I'm looking for as a GIS practitioner. I really want to know, I really want things accurate and my maps to be accurate. So, here I am teaching one of our students how to use the equipment and how this whole process works. And, we like to get them out in the field. It's a very important task for an environmental manager these days to be able to make a map and use the technology to make decisions. And we find that it's something that is in demand in the market. So we like to give them GIS skills and drone skills. This is another project I worked on with Dr. Peter Byrne from the biology department, where we looked at the salt marsh from various heights with our drone. Here's one from 400 feet up, so as high as I can go with my drone. Took this bunch of pictures, automatically stitched them all together into one large picture, and you can see some good stuff there. This is zoomed in a lot further. This is the lowest we went, 65 feet. And with this I can see every blade of grass. It's very detailed. Lots of good pixel resolution, and this is great. But this would take a lot of time to fly. You'd have a lot of pictures, just thousands and thousands of pictures, and might not be practical. Here's what we settled on. 200 feet is a good resolution where we can see the different species of Spartina, patens, and alterniflora, and see where those boundaries are, and make a good line, a crisp line, accurate line in our GIS system. So we're using the images to delineate the different species and then make some maps of that and see how things change over time. Here's something new I'm working on, sort of a vlog style teaching demonstration. I took some video just to see how it looked, how the sound came out, and so it's me talking to a camera. I figured that's a better way to show how to fly a drone, especially if I have to do this over Zoom, to put together videos like this to help students understand what it's really like, to kind of walk them through this if they can't do it right with me. Then this is the next best thing. It's better than a PowerPoint, better than looking at a bunch of bullet points and sort of talking through it. I think this is kind of what students are more used to these days, short form content, and it was really just more of a test, and something I'm working on and hope to improve upon in this summer and the coming years, and kind of delivering a in the field lecture, if they don't necessarily have to be there, and put it all together. And that's that's always looking for suggestions and new ways to teach, and this is where I'm going. I'll let you know how we're doing, give you some good demos hopefully soon. And then this video here at the end, this is why I do this. This is just, I don't know, to me this puts it all together. Like it's just beautiful. You could get this shot in really 10 minutes, but seeing this video, if you want to understand what's going on in the salt marsh, this does it. Like, it's great to see a GIS map in a top-down view. It's great to see ground level pictures of things, but this really pulls it all together and works in conjunction with those things. If you could put a map next to this, but this is, to me, this is a great teaching tool, right? This is a great way to get someone to understand this system and the different components of it, the terrestrial areas, the forest areas, the ditches where the streams are, the different species. You could watch this video many times and point out a lot of different things, and you really understand this environment a lot more than we ever could in the past, just with this drone technology. So this excites me as well. It's nice to make videos for entertainment purposes, but as a teaching tool, I think this is amazing as well. Just to visualize a place in a different way. I'm used to visualizing maps, but this sort of a moving map, and if it's well done and you know how to fly and you can get the right angles, probably even layer some labels on there as well, you've got something. And I think this is another way to teach that I'm looking at. And here I am landing the drone and ending this mission. So a lot of potential here that I'm exploring, and hope to teach our students to do the same thing. Oh, and so I just want to thank you. Here's my dog. He's a good boy. And thanks for listening. If you want to collaborate, there's my daughter. Collaborate with us. We're always looking for people to fly with, and whether you're a student, you want to learn more, we have a few classes here at Suffolk. Get your drone license, learn how to fly, learn how to take pictures, learn how to make maps. Or if you're a professor doing research at Suffolk or otherwise, we are always looking for good projects to work on and use this amazing technology to help tell your story, help visualize your data, help educate people about the environment and what they can do to protect it. And it's exciting technology, and we look forward to getting deeper into this and exploring this technology. And I just want to thank you for listening and enjoy the conference.